actively searching for their next future ex-wives. It's the nice guys on business. Oh yeah, they know how to treat the ladies.
I was so selfless that I actually gave up 2 of my wives. I
gave up an ex-husband. Yeah, there you go.
I threw them both back. It's fine. It was good. They weren't the right size. It's catch and release with me. That's how I work.
Well, looks like they picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue. They picked the wrong week to quit drinking. They picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines. Looks like they picked the wrong week to stop being assholes. Well, looks like I picked the wrong day to give up the Nice Guys on Business podcast. That and sniffing glue. Not that there's a difference. 3 days a week, they're able to hold it together. This is not one of those days. Welcome to Fuckery with the Nice Guys. Adults need not apply. No interviews, lots of ranting, and they sometimes stumble onto something useful. Go figure. Now it's time for Nice Guys Fuckery with the kings of fuckery themselves, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Get the ginger.
That's right. What, Jared? What did you say, Jared?
I'm not even drinking tonight yet, so.
All right, let's get rolling. It's 6
Too
after
much of that
3.
the last couple days.
I have an appointment at Walmart at 7:00, so I gotta go.
Okay, so this is not going to be a marathon 2-hour session like it has been, which is good.
It can't be. I have chicken pot pie that is going to be ready for me in exactly 57 minutes.
You're late. It's 9:00 here already.
There you go.
Well, my time machine says that I can back up the time to 7:00 West Coast time, so I'm here.
Yeah, if you were in Jared's time zone, you would be full right now. You would have already.
That's right. If I was there, what time is it? It's 9:00.
Yeah.
Your East Coast time?
East Coast.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Susan, what time zone are you in?
She's central with me because we're both in the same state.
Oh, state of confusion.
Welcome back. Ladies, gentlemen, everybody.
Nice guy community, Strickland.
That's it, nice guy community. It's been
How
a
many
while.
years will we have to do this until you remember it is the nice guys community?
Something like that. Doug Sandler on the other side of the microphone. My name is Strickland Bonner. We have joining us today for our 3rd week of crowd-sourced Friday fuckery episodes because Doug and I are either too lazy or we've been drinking too much in our confusion and our quarantineness to actually come up with topics. Jenny Bellinger, Susan DeCenzi, and live and in person is Jared. I got your theme music, Jared.
Wait, you don't play the theme music yet because you don't have to do that until we actually play his voicemail.
Do you have a voicemail?
What about my voice?
Yeah, we like your voice, Jared, but it'd be nice to play the voicemail also. Yeah, Strick, it's over there. I put it. I did my job. My job was to show up. I always make sure the voicemails are in position and in place.
Okay.
Hey, Doug. Hey, Strick. Yeah. Jared here.
Oh my God, that was so weird because it was like that's exactly the way you say it when you call every time, and I felt like I'm hearing a recording, but I'm seeing you saying.
Totally right, 100% right. Oh my God, hey Strickland, I had a little visit to the store today. I went out. I actually ventured out of my home. This is I think probably the 5th time that I have gone out actually in a car to go somewhere in the last month. And we went to, I think it's called Gelson's. It's a high-end grocery store that kind of hoards paper towels and toilet paper. So we always know we're going to be able to get it when we go there. Oh, he's not even fucking paying attention to me anymore.
That's okay, Doug. We are.
It was amazing. Welcome to my life. You guys understand now when I go through every week that I record with, hi Strickland, are you here with us again?
I'm here all damn day with my son and my daughter, right? And it's like I'm doing stuff, but all day there's nothing that I've been obligated to do at a specific time. And of course, as soon as it's time to record the podcast, hey, do we have any glue?
Yep.
No, I need glue. No, I need different. No, this is too thick glue. No, this is not good glue. Hey, can you do this? Can you help
Dad,
me? Can I play your game? Hey,
Dad, it looks like I picked up it looks like this was the wrong week for me to give up sniffing glue.
Right. Exactly.
God, I didn't fumble over that. I didn't fumble over it. So I was able to actually get out of the house for one of the handful of times that I've done this in the last month. And we went to this place called Gelson. So, when you go shopping, do you measure the value of your shopping trip based upon the amount of bags that you bring home? Like when you bring home like if you go to Trader Joe's, if you spend, let's just do a localized poll here. So Jenny, you're used to polls, aren't you?
Oh, I need my rim shot. Really need my rim shot.
So Jenny, Susan, Jared, maybe you guys, this Strickland, maybe add to this. If you go to Trader Joe's and spend $100, forget what goes in the bags, but roughly how many bags do you feel like you would be walking out of Trader Joe's with if you did that? Anybody can.
I'm going to get at least 3 or 4 bags for $100, I think. Yeah.
3 or 4 bags.
At least.
I'm too cheap to go to Trader Joe's, so I don't know.
Wait a minute. Trader Joe's is actually where do you shop, Jared? If you're too cheap, where do you go?
We'll go where it's cheapest, man. I have even dropped the bar, and this time I'm going to Walmart, man, just because I got to go to 5 places to get what we need. I mean, nobody has everything.
Anything.
Aldi, Walmart, Target, Costco, I don't care. We have to go.
Jared, how many people are in your house? Like right now? 4 of you. And what would you say in the average month that you guys would spend on groceries? Forget almost the quarantine months. $1,000.
Really?
And what are you less or more in this particular time because of the quarantine? More. Jenny, how about with you?
Right as I took a bite.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, we've got my mouth is full. That's a shocker, right? I may as well throw it out there before anybody else does. So we have 5 of us in the house on any given day. Today we had 7 of us for dinner because of Marcel's kids joining us.
Okay.
For dinner from time to time. I'd say we probably spend probably $800 to $1,000 a month on groceries and essentials and stuff. And yeah, we're really having to spread out where we're spending because I can't leave the house. So, so Marcel and my ex-husband are doing all the shopping for me.
All right. How about you, Susan? How about you, Susan? Is it just you and your hubby in your house?
3 of us. And,
okay.
Typically prior to quarantine, it could be 400 to, 350, 455, depends. I mean, I would do a lot of Aldi shopping for a lot of things that were fantastic. And, certain things they'd get here or there. And now I went to our major grocery store 2.5 weeks ago, spent $300. I've never even spent $300 when I was like doing a Thanksgiving for like 15 people.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Welcome to the virus.
So how about you, Strick? It's 3 of you in the house right now, right?
Yeah, I have no idea what I normally spend. There's no normal. I just, but not that much. Not all that much.
All right. I mean, so if I go into a Trader Joe's, typically I'll probably drop maybe $60 to $75. And that's not a lot of money when it comes to buying groceries, but we would do that a few times a month. And I would say I was spending, I don't know, altogether between eating at restaurants and and going to the grocery store, probably about $800. And I spend more now on groceries, but of course there's no going out bill anymore. So I've actually saved money during this quarantine. But today we go to this place called Gelson's, and it was like $105. And I think it was 2 bags of groceries. And I came back and I'm looking at the receipt and I'm like, we spent $3.50 for a freaking avocado.
What?
Yeah.
I know. Avocado.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh my God.
You crack it open, it's gold inside.
I know, it feels like it's gold. I mean, I have never spent that much money on an avocado, and it's an organic one. I got it. It's slightly larger than the normal one, and they don't do it by weight. They do it by the size of it. And normally, we'll go to Trader Joe's and we'll get a bag of 5 of them. Now they're smaller, but they're not that much smaller. And the 5 of them will be like $3 or $4 for all 5 of them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if I like this Gelson's place at all.
No, but it's like that everywhere right now, Doug, because that's how I spent so much, is that the normal things I would buy, the staples and things like that for healthier eating and this, that, and the other, because we also have a food service. So I didn't include that piece.
Right.
But that was because we restarted that because I got tired of not being able to find meat. and shit at the store.
So as you're going past the store and going to the grocery store, and you're seeing the gas stations, which I haven't had to stop at one for quite some time now, thank God. I'm actually seeing the price of gas. We are getting close to under $3 here in LA, and that would have been dropped by a full $1. Now, Strickland, last time we checked with you last week or the week before, it was under $2. Where is it now?
Oh, it's like $1.50.
Holy
crazy!
Now,
so cheap here.
It's not fair because you're in Texas, so gas is always insanely cheap in Texas. But even here where I am outside of St. Louis, Marcel came home and said he saw it at like $1.95 in some spots in St. Louis, and it's a little more expensive in Illinois, so it was a little over $2.
How about you, Jared? Where you are?
Blue handle hanging. If you grab those, I can probably.
Strickland, could you at least mute your fucking microphone?
I thought I had. So sorry. I'll click the button now. I thought I hit the button on the mic. See, that happens all the time.
All you need is just tell your kids 48 minutes. That's all you need. Just complete silence for 48 minutes. Could you get that? Is that not possible?
I'm actually have to go edit that now.
No, we didn't hear it. So maybe I didn't hear it. I don't think.
I didn't
go
hear
back and listen to it carefully.
What I was saying was here in the Cleveland area, gas is right now. I'm picking it up $1.25, $1.50. It kind of fluctuates depending on where I get it.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, of course, I am short about $90,000 in income this month, so I guess the $1.25 isn't that bad. Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
Yeah, I saw a post the other day. It said gas is incredibly cheap. I'm grounded and I'm not allowed to touch my girlfriend. I'm 16 years old again.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That is a keeper. That is a keeper. So if you're tuning into this and you are the nice, hey, who was that guy Mars that was on our show last night? He was the one that was.
It's a chick.
Oh, it was a chick. Okay, she was the one that was bombing us, right?
No, Doug, you were being a little bit mean. I thought
no, she wasn't giving me any answers, which is never good. Don't give me if you're going to give me an answer, give me the truth. Don't give me a bullshit answer. Because that's what she was doing. Oh, I don't really who else was doing it, Strickland? There was nobody else that was in the room that did not have their first and their last name on it. Susan, back me
Doug,
up here, please.
I love you. I was just gonna say I can't back you up, dude. I can't back you up. She was giving the answer. She said I'm part of the nice guys community. I'm not in a position to go on video. And she explained later that she was crying because Jenny was singing so beautifully that it had brought tears. And so she was trying to say, I'm not in a position to go on video. And you were like, who are you? Who are you? And then you're like, bye.
Yeah, you were being a little bit mean, I thought. Well, because you were so sure that she was the one bombing us. I
am putting my talking stick down for a second and giving it to somebody else that has something to say that I want to hear. So, Jared, help me, Jared. Somebody help me. Jared,
what the hell makes you think I got something worth listening to?
But Jenny, didn't you say you saw her in the community somewhere?
Yeah, she's in the community. She hasn't really commented much, but as soon as we put up the karaoke shit show, she was the first person to say she was going who wasn't Doug, Strick, or Jenny. So
all right, so hold on a second.
Had seen her name
hold on a second.
Days before.
If Jenny, I will give you here, or somebody go over to the nice guy community and figure out who it was. Invite her on this right now, and let's figure out. Let's get to the bottom of this right now. I think we can do this right. If she's a kid, which it sounds like she is, she's on social media.
She's she's young for sure. But I think I don't know who was doing the whiteboard stuff. For me, because I was the one middle of the singing, I totally thought it was a Jared sandwich that was going on, going, you suck, hard.
I did the hearts. I kept doing the hearts because I'm like, oh, somebody's being an ass.
I want to know.
I want your boyfriend that was doing it just to,
that's what I said.
Marcel would never do that.
Stop being mean.
What's the 1 point? It says 198.62.1.8.8. What's that code called?
The IP address.
IP address. I want the FBI to get into our Zoom room. I want to know who left that whiteboard message. I hate you, or whatever. You suck, or whatever it was.
Suck, yeah.
I looked through the entire list of people that was in the room, and the only one that it could have been by process of elimination was Mars, because she's the only one that didn't tell me their first name and their last name. I thought at first it was that other person, that guy that couldn't get his cell phone to work, but I realized that was my daughter's friend, and he's a singer, and he would never have done that.
Yeah.
So by process of elimination, I quickly deduced that it had to have been her or him or it or whatever. So somebody proved me wrong. I will apologize, and I will do something very nice for that person if that actually wasn't the case. All right. So somebody do your sleuthing while
Well, I'm looking her up right now.
what-
Mars Cameron, and
Okay.
she looks young, but she works at Denny's, which I feel terrible about, and she's got plenty of stuff
Wait,
posting
you
on
feel
her.
You feel terrible because
she got no
works
work
at-
right now. Well, and
Yeah.
working at Denny's sucks. I mean, I don't know that anybody that works at Denny's
Wait.
is there because they absolutely love Denny's. I'm sure
Why?
she just needs the money.
Hold on a
So I feel
second.
bad about that.
She probably made more last week than I did, Strickland. So I don't know.
I don't
that's a
think
fair
you can
sum.
go into Denny's and sit down and eat right
Probably
now,
not last
Doug.
week. Yeah.
No.
I think they're closed. That's what I'm trying
No.
to say.
So what are you saying? She's saying she works at Denny's. So why don't you say, hey, Doug, you're self-employed. You have no income coming in. Why don't you say that? Why do you go, she works at Denny's, she doesn't make any? I mean, look at Jared. I mean, Jared, nobody's letting him into their house right now to do any home improvements.
Actually, I'm quite busy, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I
it.
bet you're doing a lot of, because here's the thing. A lot of people are probably sitting in their house going, oh man, I've been meaning to get this, this, and this done. So they're calling him,
Yeah.
or they're having him. I'm guessing you're getting a lot of external work done, exterior work done.
Yeah. And I do a lot of stuff that ties directly into people being able to get in and out of their house. So
Jenny, I've seen your
handicap
cover art. You've had a
accessibility.
lot of work done. I know that.
Settle down, Doug. Settle down.
Yeah. No, I literally have had zero work done actually. I lied. I have
Wow. Oh,
I
boy.
have had one thing done,
Okay.
but it's nothing that anybody would know because it was my kidney being taken out. I donated a
What?
kidney.
Wow.
Hold on a second. This is so much of a better story than me telling about the plastic surgery I had when I was 18 years old. So tell me about this. You donated a kidney. That's like Mother Teresa stuff. Tell me about this.
It was actually something very selfish. My aunt, who was also my godmother, needed a kidney. She had a kidney issue about 15, 17 years ago.
Mhm.
And they were able to get her kidneys up and working again for a little while. And then they started not working. And so she needed a transplant. So we tested and I was the closest match. So I donated my left kidney to her in March of 2006.
That
She
is
lived for
amazing.
another 9.5 years.
Wow.
She died from an aortic aneurysm, compounded by the smoking that she did for 43, 45 years, something like that. But the kidney gave her 9.5 years. She was able to meet both my kids after they were born, and she was able to travel and go on cruises and do all these things that she wouldn't have been able to do if she was still on dialysis. So
Oh my God.
I did it because I wanted her to live. So it's not that
It's
that
so funny.
selfless if
It's
you're
funny
trying
you
to
say
keep
you,
someone
you
alive.
gave it selfishly. I mean, that's like the definition of selfless. You did not give that selfishly. You gave it because you wanted to see somebody go far beyond, which is kind of funny because you gave your left kidney to her and I gave my left nut to Strickland. So it's just kind of
Thought that was your app.
Along with your man card, right?
Yeah. Well, it came along with the Downton Abbey series, so I gave Strickland both of those things.
Oh my
God.
God.
Has anybody in this group, Susan? You're probably the only other one. I know that Jared and Strickland probably never did anything that nice. What have you given to somebody aside from venereal disease, Jared?
Doug is definitely feeling it tonight. Have you had a couple drinks there tonight, Doug?
No, you know what? I haven't had a drink since our whole gig last weekend for the karaoke. I woke up on Sunday morning. I felt like shit. I mean, all that. I probably drank a half a bottle of that Fireball. I'm like, ooh,
Oh my
God, I
God.
don't like the way. Maybe not quite that much.
You
But
haven't had a drink since last night or a week ago?
no, a week ago. It's not that I. It's
Oh,
not
you
that I was
haven't had a
avoiding.
drink in a week? How the hell have you
No,
done
I have
that?
not. I did not
Jesus.
have it. I don't think so. JJ, have
That's
I
a
had
hell
a
of a
drink this
hangover.
week? Oh, okay, right. I forgot about that. I didn't drink, but I did a lot of heroin on Tuesday. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was cocaine.
The edibles earlier today.
Right.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
No. So Susan, have you done anything that selfless in your life? Anything?
No, like surgery, like give up. I've given my body parts to science.
Wow.
Right?
Well, that's not until after you die, though.
No, now like they've taken shit out and keep taking shit out. But no, I've never done anything that selfless. I mean, I really kind of look at kind of how I am and just move through the world and the work I do as being kind of, really selfless. But like Jenny, it's from a very selfish perspective, right? It gives me great joy. It gives me great happiness and stuff like that. But nothing that I could think of off the top of my head that was anything even close to that.
Well, I was so selfless that I actually gave up 2 of my wives.
All right, so yeah, I gave up an ex-husband. Yeah, there you go.
I threw them both back. It's fine. It was good. They weren't the right size. It's catch and release with me. That's how I work. Get married or divorced? No. I'm catch and release. Thank you.
No, but like, I used to work with, I worked with a lot of heroin addicts, and I worked with a lot of people who are homeless and in prison. So, I mean, I've worked with a lot of populations that are like, in a lot of societal view or throwaways, they're kind of like, ooh, we don't want to deal with them. We don't want to talk to them. And so I kind of always make it a point to go out of my way to help people like that wherever I'm at, even just talking to them.
I forgot that you were actually. Well, now, were you a guard in a prison, or were you what? You were a social worker, a therapist. So how bad of the bad were? What part of the incarcerated would you talk to? I mean, obviously the whole person, but what type of people were you talking to generally?
People. Yeah, I mean, in this particular prison, they couldn't have certain Class X felonies, but this wasn't also most of these guys' first, as they call it, bit. They'd been in prison 4, 5, 6, 7 times, 20, 30, 40 years on and off. Oh my God. So they may not have been in for murder this time or certain sexual offenses, but they'd all committed. I mean, I worked with some heavy duty top gang leaders nationwide who would describe the lengths they would go to when their crew wouldn't do what they wanted.
Wow.
These were pretty bad dudes.
Yeah, so kind of like Doug when people don't want to show their face on the.
Right. I just boot them right out of their freaking Zoom room. That's right. I was listening to This American Life, and a guy named Ira Glass, he puts the whole thing together, and he was talking, what are you doing, Jenny? Jenny really must have thought that. Jared has it easy. He just kind of sits back. He's listening, always listening. And then he finds a spot, he takes it, and he's in for the kill. With me, it's like constantly having to talk and fill the dead zone.
He's a joke sniper.
Yeah, I know, Doug. You say it like it's easy, dude. It takes skill to be a sniper like that. You just can't be shooting off willy nilly. You've got to wait for your shot.
What's interesting about it is, so Jared and I completely take a different approach to jokes. I take more of the shotgun approach to jokes, which is completely just like puking all sorts of spray all over the place, and I have to be very uncalculated about who my market is. Jared, he goes up. He waits for it. Oh no, hold on. I just got to hold up because, it's like somebody innocent passes through. So he just doesn't say anything. And then he goes in for the shot.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Anyway, so Ira Glass, and this might relate. Maybe you can share a little bit of your experience with this, Susan. I know has not been, probably since you are in or out of the prison system. And I mean that in a loving way. There probably
little do you know.
There hasn't been a virus that's gone through, but Ira Glass with This American Life was talking about the need to actually release a lot of non-violent criminals out of the prison system because of the overcrowding in the prison system and the speed at which this virus could run rampant through the prison. So they were letting people that have a compromised immune system out of prison for fear that they would get killed from the virus. Had you ever experienced anything like that before?
Oh God, no. I mean,
no.
I don't think. I just don't think the world. I don't think anybody alive today, even if you've got somebody who is alive during the Spanish influenza, they'd be super, super old. And that means they were super, super young right? Like a baby or a toddler, they wouldn't remember that. And we just haven't seen it to this degree with kind of the technology and the way things are today that no, but I could see, like, to be honest, even though the prison I was at was designed the way it was and reopened the way it was with these kind of, particular felonies, 90%, even if they had been in prison before and had done a lot of bad things like killed people or raped and armed robbery, things like that.
When are you going to tell us the bad things? Because that was what I did on Tuesday.
Well, 90% like were there for like drug offenses, manufacturing, delivery, possession, and it's just like, come on. I mean, I get it. But I mean, everything, it's fucked up. That whole system is entirely screwed up. And it has been for a long, long time.
So what do you guys think about the idea of taking someone that even not say a violent crime, but let's just say that somebody that has done some of the white collar crimes, let's say they embezzled $100 million from somebody's account and they were sitting in jail and they have a compromise. How about this? Let's put a real face on it. Harvey Weinstein, who is obviously, say it again.
Inject him with COVID.
That's right. Inject him. Oh man. All right. So let's take a guy like Harvey Weinstein, who has got a compromised immune system just because he's been under so much freaking stress. I mean, you saw what he went from and what he went to. He was in that walker. I don't know if that was for effect or if there was some reality in that. You think it was for effect? Okay.
I think it was a load of crap because when they read him his sentence, he didn't need no freaking walker.
All right. So but he was guilty, right? So he's in jail right now, correct?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what would you feel, or how would you feel about them letting Harvey Weinstein out because he falls under the category of either Jared is saying no fucking way.
No, he's considered a violent. No, keep him in there. Keep him in there. I would rather them bring out any of the people who are in for possession, especially for those of us who are in states where marijuana is now legal. Like, let those people go.
Right.
Let my people go.
I know, right? Like these poor people, they got incarcerated for possession of something that is now legal in the state.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's the same kind of thing as like somebody being drunk at, they get off work. I used to be a dealer in a casino and we'd get off at 6 o'clock in the morning. And there was a bar in that town that was open, not the casino bar, but there was a bar that we would go to and we would drink for hours, right? So we were leaving at 9, 10 in the morning, 11 o'clock, whatever, right? Well, like, let's say a guy who can piss anywhere, he's kind of been drinking, he goes and he just takes a whiz and it's near a park or a school. Well, there have been cases where they've been arrested and now they have to register as a sex offender.
Oh my gosh.
So my point, like Jenny, is like, there's a lot of people who have been convicted of things or are in prison for certain types of offenses like that, aren't like, let those people out. But people like Harvey,
all right,
let him fucking rot.
They're not going to look, as we all know, they're not going to look at those guys on a case-by-case basis. They're going to look at, they're going to look at criteria and do they fit the criteria? Because the system does not look on, this guy and that guy and this guy. They need mass to leave the prison system because of this. What's your feeling for letting people out because of either a compromised immune system? I mean, haven't they been guilty of creating their own, in many cases, compromised immune systems because they beat up their life, their entire, beat up their body their entire life?
I would agree.
Yeah, I would say, I would rather see them start with like the drug offenses, any kind of drug offenses. I mean, I don't necessarily want a guy back out on the street who's going to reopen a meth lab.
Right.
But I think right now, if we're looking at protecting a group of potential people who are truly helpless in the sense that they are incarcerated, so they have really got no control whatsoever. And now we're saying, this thing might come into the system and it could literally kill you. And we got to figure out a way to lighten that load. Then look at drug offense type situations first.
All right. That's enough heavy for the show, I think. It's a lot. It's a lot of heavy. A lot of heavy so far.
You ready for? I think we need voicemails. You think?
Yeah, we got 2 voicemails that we're going to play, and both of them are actually here. So if you guys just want to transcribe, the transcription comes through now. So now I see the entire transcription. I'm like,
transcription I know what? What are you talking about?
Well, when it gets dumped into my Google now has the completely transcribed message that comes across. So I don't listen to them, but I usually can see who they're from.
Oh, when you get a voicemail.
Yeah. So remember, Strickland, when you actually do play these back on Zoom, when you go into the editing software and you replay them for uploading to our host source, I think you might have to insert the voicemail message because for some reason people don't hear them on the recording. I don't know why.
Well, that was happening with Zencastr. I don't know if it was happening with Zoom.
No, it happens. Right. No, I think it happens on Zoom too. For some reason. So you may want to just make sure you go listen at the 31-minute mark to see if the voicemail shows.
We think it's the 31 minute. He'll tell. Okay. He'll be able.
Hey, Strick. Just remember, I'm the only one that ever calls you about it. I'm here.
That's true.
You can pretend like it's actually there, even if it's not.
Okay, so what's coming up is either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a voicemail from Jared and then Jenny immediately following, or we're going to give you about 3 minutes of meditation time. Either way is fine. Let's just do the. Hold on. Let me give you the lead in. Okay, you're ready. You're ready.
Right, here we go.
Hey, Strick, you didn't hit the share computer sound, so we can't hear it.
I did.
Oh, that's
But
great.
I'm not hearing it here. Hold on. That's weird. Yeah. No, I did hit share computer sound.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Jared's singing a voice.
He's singing his own intro.
He's singing his own intro.
I love that. Oh, here we go. Now we go. Play back.
Voicemail from Jared.
Here we go. Let's do that. Let's try it.
Voicemail from Jared.
That's what I'm talking about. You sing it, Doug. Hey, you sound just like that guy. Are you actually the one that recorded this?
No, that's you.
Here we go. It's not me. What are you talking about?
We got a voicemail from Jared. I said a voicemail from Jared. You know a voicemail from Jared. Nobody else will call. We got a voicemail from Jared. Screw the rest of y'all.
Rocking.
A little bit.
Hey, Doug. Hey, Strick. Jared here. So it is officially Saturday night, and I am jamming on the karaoke. For those of you who are not on this, where are you? I just had to give you a shout out, guys. This was a blast. I'm glad you're doing it. Help kill some of the COVID blues, as was sung earlier. So for all of you who aren't in the Facebook group, Nice Guys Shortcut, you got to go to niceshortcut.com and get into the group and join these lives. This is awesome. Thanks, guys.
Best URL ever.
Nice.
Hey, guys. It's Jenny Bellinger. I am calling in right now because Jared just said he left a voicemail during karaoke shit show, and I couldn't let him be the only one to leave a voicemail in the middle of karaoke shit show. So luckily, Strick chose the longest song possible, the Elton John song, and so I'm calling in during the instrumental part. So just wanted to call in and say, hey, this karaoke shit show is so much fun. Thank you guys for indulging in my desire to do karaoke even from home. So it's been so much fun doing this with you guys. And listeners, if you guys haven't joined us, why not? What's wrong with you? It's so much fun on Saturday night. So, all right. Well, you guys have fun, and I'm probably on with you when you're listening to this. So, bye, Doug.
There it is. It's really good to look at her as she's saying it to me.
And we do love to indulge your desires, Jenny. Always.
Yes.
Whenever possible.
Oh my gosh.
So where do you leave a voicemail message at?
4242 DJ go. Yeah, here we'll give you the number, and we'll give it to our Nice Guy community at the same time. If you want, just dial 4242 DJ Doug. It is my I've had that Malibu number for actually many years before realizing it was foreshadowing my move to California. I did not realize I was moving here. I had that number for many years. Am I on speed dial?
Is on my speed dial. You're in my favorites.
That's good. I've made it to favorites. That's pretty good. Yeah, feel free to leave a message anytime, Susan, because it doesn't ring anywhere. It goes right into my goes right to voicemail. And I don't know what it says anymore, but we should probably put the voicemail from Jared theme song as my outgoing message. If it's not Jared, it's okay to leave a message.
No, remember you changed and started putting that number out on one of your other podcasts. So you got people calling from the TurnKey.
Nah, nobody calls it anymore. I don't promote it there anymore anyway. Yeah, Jenny Bellinger, we need a Jenny Bellinger theme song. Maybe we could do something a little bit airy fairy or something like that for you. It'd be fun. Strickland, could you record one of those? Maybe just do a ballad. A Jenny ballad.
See if I can
see what I can. Hey, can you hire those same people? They were really good.
Yeah, except he's more of a rock and roll guy. I mean, I don't know if he could sing a ballad.
That's true. That's true. You know who we get to do it? Lucy Dumas, because she did the blues thing last night.
There you go. She could improv something.
There we go. Get her to do like a Stevie Nicks type thing, or
Well, so the whole thing. Yeah, go ahead, Jared.
It needs to be something like voicemail from Jenny.
Hi, Doug.
But it'd be like the same music, right? And then voicemail from Jenny. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, Strick. So the whole band audition thing, I'm assuming right now that's probably in a holding pattern. Any of those?
Yeah, kind of annoying. So I found a great band that I really love with this girl Chris, who used to sing in Onyx, who happened to move down here to Texas in October, and very promising musicians, guys that have connections with other clubs and stuff here, and it's kind of on hold right now. But we are definitely still planning on doing it as soon as they have bands back in the clubs again.
So speaking of bands and DJs and stuff like that, okay, you were the president of a very large multi-million-dollar talent agency in Washington, D.C. before you went to work for Social Solutions. I'm really curious, in your opinion, how does a business like that, which is completely dependent upon the live events world, how does a business like that survive? Because, most of our friends back home, they're in the live events business, and they didn't have like a little thing going on the side to kind of help them through. So maybe just share what's your philosophy on what's going to happen to the agencies, like the big one that we worked with, and then what happens to the acts that are there now too.
I mean, who knows? They're struggling right now, but a lot of these musicians and a lot of the DJs, I don't mean to be nasty about it, but they don't really have any other great skill sets, some of these guys, right? I mean, it's all they do. And so it's like, okay, what are they going to do? They're going to get by as best they can for the next month or two, and then they're going to scrape along and pick up gigs where they can. But it is tough because, most of these weddings and bar and bat mitzvahs, they get booked months or years ahead of time.
Right.
And all of them have had to be canceled. And so when they're rescheduling, it's like, okay, who knows when they're going to reschedule for? I mean,
even if those entertainers, which were struggling to begin with, I mean, let's be honest here, most of them were really, really struggling to begin with, even before they, they're living from paycheck to paycheck in many cases. And now they've had to take they've been off work for now probably 4 weeks, probably even more, 6 weeks, and they're going to be off for at least another month. And I was just looking at like my May dates too, and most of those May dates are going to be canceled. So there's only so many that they can jam into June. And then if summer happens to rebound, especially in the bar and bat mitzvah world, they're not going to schedule it during summer because that's when everybody is off and everybody's at camp and on vacation. So now we're talking moving into September through December. And it's like, nobody can hang on who can hang on for 6 months?
Right. No, I mean, you guys that are not in the event industry may not realize it. Saturday night is it, right?
Yep.
All of us entertainers are what I used to do. It's like, we make our money 52 days a year. That's it. Yep. Right. Like Fridays every once in a while. And you can only be booked once on a Saturday night. Like maybe if you're lucky, you could get a Saturday afternoon and a Saturday evening, but that's it. When you're booked for that Saturday night,
also known as Doug's schedule.
Right.
I remember those years. I was working 100 to 110 gigs a year, twice on Saturdays, and that was only 46 weeks of the year, because those 6 weeks in the summer I was off. Man, I don't even know how I did it, but I can't imagine having to. If we were in the heyday of my entertainment career, which was 10 years ago, let's say, I don't even know what I would have done.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
were
was
doing
making
2 or 3 every weekend, all
every
the time.
weekend.
Well, I think what I've seen has happened very interestingly enough is there's so Marcel and I went to Vegas about 2 months ago. You guys know that. While we were there, we saw an act perform at the casino where we were, and I ended up following the guy on Facebook. Well, ever since Vegas shut down. Vegas is shut down, y'all. The city that doesn't sleep is now like on
That's
permanent
crazy.
sleep right
I
now.
was supposed to be there last weekend.
Yeah,
And so
what
this guy Sean Eiferman is doing, and he's actually doing 2 Facebook Lives a day. He has set up a GoFundMe page, and what he's doing is he is actually donating any money that comes in on a particular show to a particular musician in Vegas who's struggling right now.
Wow.
And then businesses have the opportunity to sponsor his show so that he can make a little money as well.
So,
and
Susan,
I think he's gotten really creative with that.
Susan, you had we had a, oh, are you talking? Sorry, I didn't know. Were you doing something else, Susan? Didn't mean to scare you. So you were talking about your somebody that's close to you. I don't want to.
My brother. No, that's
okay,
cool. My brother-in-law.
I was respecting the information. So why don't you share that story, because it is so interesting with what's going on. I did not know that this was your brother, and then I found out a little bit more information. I was like, this is a pretty interesting story. So why don't you share a little bit about your brother?
My brother-in-law is a pretty well-known comedian and has gone on tour with like Drew Carey and, Tim Allen and stuff, and been in some movies. Like, he's well-known in the comedic world. And he was set to have a show after like 30 years of grinding it out around the world and doing pretty well for himself. But even with a pilot they did like 20 years ago and the writer's strike and this, that, and all kinds of things, it just didn't come together, even though the pilot had taken off. So he was finally being given the opportunity to have his own show in Vegas. Yep, not now.
Wow.
Not now. So it's like, yeah. And all of his gigs are obviously, all of his gigs have been canceled through August. And he's sitting there getting freaked out. And it's like, look, there's ways to pivot this, let's get your podcast started, and let's, you could do some virtual comedy clubs like you're doing virtual karaoke. I mean,
how does that stuff translate though into, it's kind of like saying, hey, Strick, you're going to be in a bar band. And although the bars are closed right now, we're just going to put your band into a garage and let you play for the crowd that was going to be at the bar anyway. And you'll make a couple of dollars, but the energy, and again, Susan, I'm thinking about your brother-in-law here as well, especially with a comedian and a band, the energy is completely drawn from the crowd in order to maybe help the next joke, especially if you're doing any kind of situational comedy. If you got a set routine, maybe not, but you still don't get any reaction from your crowd. I would have to imagine that from a band's perspective and a comedian's perspective would be really, really challenging.
Oh yeah, but you could do like a Zoom room like this and bring on 100 people who, I don't know, but I mean, it's a potential pivot, right? You got to try.
Challenging, but you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Susan, was he doing did he have a stand-up act, or did he have like an act that he was going to be doing in Vegas?
A stand-up act. Yeah. And as well as other, I think maybe a couple of other guys they were looking at doing like this other show or something. I don't know. It just kind of, I feel bad for him. He's funny as hell. And, when it's like every and I'm sure that he's not the only one. It's like people, they have that, like the opportunities like right there. And then all of a sudden something happens and the opportunity goes bye-bye.
Doug, did you know Alon New, the magician?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was in Vegas for many years. Is he still there?
Well, it was funny. I looked him up and he had a show, like a headliner show that I think he only got that recently in the last couple of months or something, because I have not seen his name before there. And I look at Vegas shows regularly.
I know he had always aspired to do Vegas, and he was, when he was in DC, that was like, it's kind of like who's the other guy? The Josh, but Max Major. The guy
Max Major, right.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, I keep thinking about those guys that really were career entertainers.
Right.
Although I was a career entertainer for 30 years, I never really considered myself an entertainer. I was always like a business guy that happened to be a DJ, and I made a really good living at it. But I could always shift that. And I think about these guys, and it's like, they focus their entire career. It's like, hey, I feel sorry for you, Strick, if you had 100 gigs and you lost it every year. but you have a skill set as president of that agency, and you took that skill set to the system side of it and put it to work at a big company. It's like, I don't know what these guys are going to do, because we already know for the next 30 days, this is where we are. We got the situation. So it's already been kind of, transmitted to us that we're not going anywhere for the next 30 days.
And when it comes back, with entertainment, it's like, it's going to take time to ramp back up again.
Yep.
I mean, even just with the bars, obviously with shows, if you're going to Vegas or something, it's not like, oh my God, let's fill the casinos. I'm going to go the first weekend I can. Everybody's going to be a little scared. Even the same thing with the bars, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's not like at the end of 30 days, we're going to go, okay, we got a cure. It's all good. It's like, it ain't.
So when does the shoe drop? I mean, you got like Jared. So you're in the home improvement business, and right now people are still in a position where some of them are spending money. Maybe not everybody. Maybe not as many as they were a month or two ago. At what point do people say, "Holy shit, this is going to last longer than I think it's going to last"? Because I think we have another wave of that happening. And do you see that at all in your side of business?
Oh yeah. There's definitely a decline as far as the typical purchasing of home remodeling. Like I think Jenny said earlier, some people are home now and they're thinking, "Oh, let's get this done. Well, let's go start setting in that. Well, shit, we don't know when we're going to get a paycheck again. Maybe we shouldn't be spending this money."
Right.
I'm fortunate because some of the work I do is tied directly to the Department of Disabilities and the actual government of the counties. And these are things that I do that actually help people get in and out of their home. So this really is a needed thing. And that's what's been actually keeping me busy is that work, because most of the other people, I think, I get here and there, I get people reaching out to me, but most of the other people I think are kind of starting to feel it. And they're like, "Oh crap, we better just chill. Let's see what happens."
And then Strick, how about with like your business? I mean, it's like, okay, will this continue if they never open like who are the majority of the customers? What kind of customers does your company serve?
We serve mostly nonprofits, and so even though some of them are probably feeling the crunch a bit right now financially, like maybe they're not getting the donations that they normally would, a lot of them work with federal grants and that type of thing where they get their money at the beginning of the fiscal year and they're funded for the year to try to help people. And so, our software helps them organize everything and show the results that they can get and make sure that they can get grant money in the future. So, right now, really, everything's cruising along like normal, and we're doing everything we can to support them.
So I wonder, and how about in the coaching and the counseling business for Jenny and Susan? At what point, I look at it and say, and I love what we do, Strick. I mean, I love the podcasting business, but I keep thinking, at what point does somebody say, "Geez, I think a podcast is important. However, I don't know when my next pay," because while we're getting paid, the people that we're servicing oftentimes have businesses that they're running that aren't getting a paycheck. So how about in counseling and coaching, Susan and Jenny? What do you see as where this thing might turn a corner, or when does the shoe drop completely?
Well, I don't know what it's like for Susan right now, but I actually signed 3 new clients last week because people are seeing this as an opportunity for growth. I do now. The 3 clients that I signed are all for my more budget-friendly services is probably a nice way of saying that. So they're not necessarily going for my top-tier private coaching at this point in time, but these are people who have expressed interest in that when, quote unquote, air quotes, when things go back to normal, they would like to go up to that level. But for right now, they're wanting to use this time to work on their business since they can't necessarily work in their business.
And Susan, how about for you? Some people might view counseling as kind of like, I'm not saying this in any kind of diminished way, but as a luxury. I don't have the luxury to be counseled, So what do you think?
You would think that in times of chaos and crisis like this, it actually increases dramatically because people are more scared and they're more stressed and they're more worried. Because I've been online for about 5 years and I'm in the middle of this big, huge repivoting and rebranding, even pre-COVID-19, I'm not seeing that uptick in my world right now. at all, because I was talking to a friend of mine who has a big group practice today. And when the shutdowns and the shelters in place really took place, she saw her entire model drop by 50% because people were like, oh, I can't go to my therapist's office.
Right.
But she put all this stuff in place to say, hey, we can do this online. You don't have to leave your home. We could do it online. And yet there's still a lot of people that aren't taking them up on that, even though the insurance companies are still paying for it, because they've totally wiped out the requirements like they had before for like what they call telemental health online services. So I think it's a question that right now people are running so scared. They're just not aware that they have some of these options.
So yeah, go ahead, Jared.
I was just saying, I think for you, Susan, or reference that person, part of the issue is a lot of folks aren't used to doing this. They aren't used to Zoom.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people in the real business, in the traditional business world that I'm friends with. And they're talking about how they're figuring out this Zoom thing. And they're talking about how excited they are. And I'm like, yeah, I've been using Zoom for years now. So about time you catch up is what I'm thinking. But they don't have a clue. Most people, the majority of people don't know this. And so they're afraid of that. This is not only are they already having trouble, now you're trying to get me to do something else that I don't want to do and not comfortable with. And I think that's part of why they're not transitioning very well.
Talking about something that you're uncomfortable with. See, I have from my insurance company right there, Kaiser Permanente. I now have colonoscopy in an envelope. So
no.
The only thing I don't understand about this. See, here's the little vial here. I don't understand exactly how to squat over that. So I'm not really sure how that exactly works. But
I do have to say, in response to what Jared just said, I've one of the things that I've actually started doing is because I'm in the same position as Jared. I've been using almost completely. My business has been online for 3 years now, using Zoom to coach my clients. And so what I've had are a bunch of people who are new to Zoom who are asking me to come facilitate their first and second events, because they don't know how to run a Zoom. They don't know how to moderate. They don't know how to control a room. They don't know how to have that conversation. So I'm coming in, and I've already done this for a couple of lawyers who are doing presentations about, all the new laws that are coming in for businesses.
You should ask Mr. Heisler if he needs any help. Him in technology might not just.
Oh my Lord! Yes.
Opportunity for you to jump on board with helping the attorneys. They have great staff, but a lot of times their staff is so stretched to the nth degree that to have a tech expert in there would be a great idea. My stepbrother Richard, he's got a business called ComPartners, and they're a web like a web conferencing kind of company. I can only imagine how busy he is right now. For some companies, this is a boom, and for some, it's a bust. We've seen, again, some of our services have really, have gone up. But I look at my DJ business, and I'm just, obviously that there's no income. Every gig that I had in at the end of March and April and May, they've all been taken off the books until they're rescheduling, but not till September through December. So it's kind of sitting tight with that. Strickland, final words before we wrap up. You've been very quiet this episode. You okay? You feeling all right? Have you not had a drink in hand?
Clearly have not had enough to drink is the problem. So it's all good though. It's all good.
Yeah, but
we got a lot of people. I'm trying not to, monopolize the conversation when it's just you and me. It's like it's different.
Yeah, then you do all the talking, Doug.
I know.
You just never shut up and give me.
I never shut up anyway. Listen, I started this podcast on February 3rd, 2015, and I have not stopped talking since.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
So, all right, why don't we wrap up here, Strickland, and we'll come back and we'll do it all again next Saturday night on karaoke, and then we'll have another live. What do you call this? What is this called exactly? This isn't the karaoke shit show times, on the other day. This is
our crowdsourced fuckery episode.
Crowdsourced fuckery.
Now is this on a separate podcast?
No, this is the Friday episode of the Nice Guys on Business.
Yeah, Friday episode of the Nice Guys on Business.
Oh I'm so lost.
And Susan is like, wait a minute.
It's Sunday. What are
you're going to air this somewhere? No, you can't. You got to bleep my name out if you're going to do that. I can't have that.
I totally don't care.
Susan, what did you think? We were just getting together with you to have a decent conversation?
No, I knew it was the Nice Guys Fuckery episode, but I was like, I'm not sure where it's playing because you have so many freaking podcasts that I'm
so here's what's happened. Maybe just in case you're tuning in, and first of all, if this is the first time you've ever tuned into the Nice Guys on Business, Strickland, we have 2 words for them. What are those words?
We're sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. But if this is the first time you've ever tuned into the Nice Guys on Business and like, what the hell am I running into here? We used to have another show. It was always the Nice Guys on Business, but then we broke apart, Susan, the Nice Guys on Business, and we had this other show called the Nice Guys Fuckery. And we had what we thought was going to be a really good, all of our audience that really just wanted to hear the shenanigans that Strickland and I put together. We were going to move all of those people. Well, we discovered that about 35 of those people moved over. And we had that, and how long did we have it going at Strick for? Like
we had it going for a good 6 months. We gave it a good shot, and then we decided, we were thinking, hey, you know what? If there are people that love the interviews but don't like the fuckery, they can just do the interviews. And if the people that love the fuckery, they can come and do the fuckery. And when we realized that nobody really gave a shit about the fuckery, we're still torturing the people that love the interviews with the fuckery on Friday now. So
right. So
that's okay. That's okay. 1,900 of your daily downloads are actually bots. So that's good.
That's fine. And you know what, Jared? If that's the case, that is okay, because when it really comes down to it, then we have a much higher proportion of close rate. We have a much better close ratio than we actually think if we take out the bots. So we're actually in better shape. We have a very cohesive community of 4. and 3 of you guys are here. The other one has probably got COVID or something. So we're trying not to have that happen. Anyway, let's wrap up here. So Jenny, Susan, or Jared, who would like to do the honors of taking us out of here?
I've done it before, so I can leave this to Susan or Jared, but I don't know if Susan knows the line.
I can do it.
Okay, we'll let Jared do it this next time that you are here. And before we do this, everybody, thank you for being here. Strickland, love you very much. We'll see you in the middle of the week sometime. Jenny, Susan, Doug Sandler, we love you all. Jared.
Steve O'Brien, take us the fuck out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Fill up your week with the Nice Guys. Side effects may include tingling, numbness, urinary incontinence, the need to watch the Kardashians. If you have an erection for more than 3 hours, call your friends to brag. The Nice Guys on Business is not for everyone. Consult your physician before usage.